Like any good game that features squad-based gameplay, Exoprimal has a whole class of healing characters. While all these units do exist to keep your party alive, each one has their own unique quirks that help distinguish them greatly. However, while it is unquestionably a benefit for each class to feel so distinct, it also makes choosing between them a bit of a head scratcher. Thankfully for you, dear gamer, we've got a breakdown of each support unit here for your convenience. We'll identify what they're best at, the type of player that would appreciate them most, and give you tips on how to utilise them most effectively. So let's start with the Witch Doctor, the purest healer of the bunch. This support unit can keep their teams alive while simultaneously paralysing their foes. The Witch Doctor's primary attack will inflict a small amount of continuous damage, and if you sustain the current long enough, the Neuro Rod will paralyse your targets. This will include some of the big hitting dinos as well. Damage wise, it's extremely weak. However, it is incredible for crowd control, and if your team is fully aware, then they can take advantage. In a well synchronised team, this is a fantastic attack, but it is only effective if your squad is working like a well-oiled machine. Now let's talk about the Witch Doctor's repair field ability, because this is their bread and butter. When you use this ability, it puts down a giant field of effect that will gradually heal anyone inside of it. It is pretty potent as it heals a number of allies at the same time, and it recharges very quickly. However, if an ally is near death, this won't necessarily be enough to pull them back from the brink. This is where Feed comes in. It works as a short range move that both heals and boosts the speed of your allies. You can also use this as an attack to debuff your enemies and recharge your Neuro Rod. When it comes to the Witch Doctor, you'll mainly rely on the repair field as it's very easy to land. However, an effective Witch Doctor will need to use the Feed skill to heal their allies as well. For starters, it provides a much stronger heal, but it's also effective as an alternative for when the Witch Doctor doesn't have a repair field ready to go. Outside of healing, the Witch Doctor also has the Rescue Leap ability. This is an instantaneous jump that will help you get out of trouble. You can also perform a second jump midway through this ability as well. It's your emergency abort option, so use it to get out of sticky situations. Finally, we have Vital Aura. This is the best heal in the game, bar none. Vital Aura will fully heal your allies, it will boost their defense, and slow your opponents. This is an overdrive, so you won't get to use it that often, but when you do, it will absolutely save you and your entire team. It is that powerful. You'll need to pick your shot with this one, but it's so powerful that if you get it right, you can truly turn the tide of any battle. The Witch Doctor is the best pure healer of the bunch. When it comes to providing survivability, his massive repair field is capable of negating most bits of occasional damage. Skillfully used, the Witch Doctor can also use Feed to rescue allies on the brink of death. Another benefit of the Witch Doctor exosuit is how adept it is at escaping danger. Rescue Leap is instantaneous. Once you press it, you will fly up into the air, at which point you can perform a mid-air jump and glide to safety. However, the bugaboo we need to address is the Witch Doctor's damage output, which is to say that it is the lowest damage output in the game, and it isn't even close. The Neuro Rod is pretty good for controlling groups of enemies, and with one of the suit's signature modules, you can extend its range greatly, but you will need to have a team who knows how to work around the Neuro Rod. If an assault unit like the Zephyr plays their cards right, they can benefit greatly from the Witch Doctor holding large groups of enemies in place. But if everyone is just going off on their own and not coordinating, the Witch Doctor suit is going to be a tremendous drain on your team's overall damage. The next support suit is Skywave, which is an exosuit that soars above the hordes and heals their friends while raining death down on their foes. It can fire 3 shots from its primary weapon, which both hurt enemies and heal allies at the same time. Skywave also has an ability called Optics Jammer. When you use this ability, it fires a wave that blinds enemies and heals allies, which makes it great for PvP encounters, and it also acts as an excellent heal. Skywave also has the Slipstream ability. This sends Skywave into the sky, and you can perform this twice to get a pretty sizable amount of distance off the ground. And it's possible to loop Slipstream multiple times and stay in the air indefinitely. Next, Skywave has an attack called Graviton Charge. This attack will fire a projectile at the ground which creates a giant gravity well, which sucks enemies to its centre. It's a great way to help control giant crowds of enemies, and against bigger foes it can slow them down for a period of time. Finally, we have Skywave's Overdrive, Desynchronize. This move can freeze your opponents in place, whether it's standard exosuits or player-controlled dinosaurs. If you synchronize this perfectly with your teammates, you can use it to land a number of guaranteed kills in PvP. Overall, Skywave is among one of the easiest to use exosuits in the game. Using the slipstream ability, you can fly up into the air and fire at enemies down below. Each shot from your lance will hit multiple targets, and as we mentioned earlier, if the lance hits an enemy they take damage, and if it hits an ally they're healed. This means that you can simultaneously heal your teammates and damage enemies. Better yet, you can fire your graviton charge into the heart of a swarm and lock a crowd of enemies together. As they're compressed, it means that your lance will be able to hit more foes. On top of that, the optics jammer will blind enemy players on the other team, as well as acting as a potent second heal. When you play as Skywave, you are almost always safe, and you're able to contribute on every front. The only issue is that Skywave doesn't do anything particularly well. This suit just doesn't pack that much of a punch, and their heals aren't quite as potent as the other exosuits. The final suit is the Nimbus suit. This one serves as a jack of all trades. It can be a potent source for health regeneration, while also being able to dish out very respectable damage. Mars and Apollo is Nimbus' standard attack. Depending on your mode shift, each shot will either heal a teammate or hurt an enemy. If you're in the heal mode, the bullets have a slight homing functionality as well, so you don't need to be bang on with every shot. This is not the case when you're in attack mode though. One thing you will notice when you're in attack mode is that Nimbus deals pretty decent damage. Nimbus isn't able to hang with the assault class of exosuits, but its damage output is unmistakably respectable. This leads into one of her abilities, Mode Switch. Using this will switch between whether your bullets heal or hurt. The mode switch is the crux of Nimbus' gameplay. When played effectively, Nimbus will be constantly switching between their modes. Next we have Spread Shot. With the Spread Shot ability, Nimbus unleashes a barrage of firepower for a decent burst of damage or a sizable heal. This is a pretty quick burst fire style attack that you'll use frequently. In a pinch it can heal most of an ally's health, or if you're set to deal damage, it's a very quick burst of damage. Next is Hollow Warp. Hollow Warp will send a holographic version of Nimbus forwards. Using the attack as his hologram travels will warp Nimbus to its position. If the hologram comes into contact with a downed teammate, then it will start to revive them. Once Nimbus is warped to the hologram, any allies nearby will be healed. And finally we move on to Nimbus' Overdrive, Antipode Burst. What's great about this overdrive is that it will fully heal anybody in front of you while also pushing all enemies a sizable distance away. This is a great way to reset a hectic situation. While Skywave may be the best damage dealer of the support class characters when fighting against groups, Nimbus is definitely far more effective for single targets. That is actually pretty true of Nimbus' healing potential too. This is a suit that is more than capable of healing an injured party member back to full health with a few shots. Nimbus is definitely a potent and versatile character. In that regard, she is pretty similar to Skywave. However, while Skywave is able to dish out damage to mobs while simultaneously healing party members, Nimbus needs to swap between healing and attacking. Nimbus also needs to be more precise when aiming, as this exosuit doesn't have Skywave's incredible splash damage on any of its attacks. It's a far more delicate exosuit. So there's some advice on the free support exosuits you can currently play as in Exoprimal. I've been Luke Gould and thanks for watching, and make sure to check out thegamer.com for more.
Combat test complete. You are victorious.